Eddie Logix in the building. I mean, what up, bro? Let's see how you sound on that mic.
What up, though? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Testing, 1, 2.
You sound
we live and direct.
Sound like an MC.
Yep.
Sounds good.
There we go.
There we go. All right, so like I said, Halloween and all that good stuff. So I did play at the top of the show, Nightmare on My Street, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Jazzy Jeff is still one of the dopest DJs to ever hit the turntables.
Man.
If you never caught a Jazzy Jeff show, do yourself a favor and catch him live when he comes to town. He likes Detroit. He comes here a lot. He actually comes here pretty often. So try to catch Jazzy Jeff. But after that, man, then we rocked into some of my man stuff right here. You know what I'm saying? New Eddie Logix. We were just talking about that joint, man. The hook, line, and sinker. I like that track.
Yeah, man. I need to make some Halloween songs. You know, I need to make a couple of Halloween bangers to round out this time of year.
I can see your boy Doc Waffles doing a Halloween song.
I mean, yeah, he might have something that could qualify.
But I think he could put a good twist on a Halloween song.
Yeah, for sure.
That dude's got some different concepts he comes up with.
I think all rappers. I want to challenge all rappers. This is the challenge to all rappers, producers out there to come with some new Halloween bangers for 2025. I need some. Like, I love the Jazzy Jeff Fresh Prince joint.
But it's been around since 1988, dog.
It still goes, but like, it's been uncontested for so long.
One thing about holiday music is it doesn't come out too often because it's a challenge. I mean, how many people really come out with a good Christmas song? I mean, when you think of hip-hop Christmas songs, you really just stick out in your head Run DMC, Christmas in Hollis, maybe Snoop Dogg, Santa Goes to the Ghetto, but it's a challenge to make a holiday song.
You think about it too late. Like, here we are, we're talking about it. It's on Thursday. Like, we already too late. But next year, this is a reminder.
If Kendrick
right now
can drop 5 disses in 3 days.
Okay.
Somebody can drop 12 Christmas songs in the same week as Christmas.
Okay, then maybe we'll
need Kendrick Lamar to diss Christmas.
Saving one that's gonna drop. Like, yeah. Where's the Kendrick Lamar Halloween song?
Dude, that'd be dope.
He already came with the I See Dead People.
Trust me, dude. He could write about anything.
Yeah, you could flip that. Does that make that a Halloween
I
song?
just know, like,
kind of.
I guess it's weird when it comes to hip hop and holiday songs because it's something that not a lot of people are comfortable digging into. I think. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of be comfortable in your own skill.
Yeah, you gotta get creative with it. Halloween, you can get creative with it.
So when we gotta like start planning these holidays because like Christmas song, you should be recording it right now, right? I mean, the Christmas
doing
song
it right now. I think that's why they kind of say like, I mean, they probably should be done, but I feel like a lot of those get made like in the summer.
I do too, man. Like
the Christmas in July thing.
When that happens, Christmas in July, I'm gonna have to go up to Frankenmuth to Browners, and I'm gonna have to immerse myself in Christmas.
Yeah. And
I'm going to have to get in the spirit a little bit.
I think in Michigan what we should have is like a Bronner's, but for Halloween also. Like there's one, the Halloween City or whatever.
Yeah, but I'm surprised Spirit Halloween hasn't done it already.
There's one Spirit of Halloween that posts up year long. Like, we need one. Put it right there next to, in Frankenmuth. Put it right there next to it.
Bro, they be having holiday wars in Frankenmuth. If you got the Halloween store next to the Christmas store.
It's like a Nightmare Before Christmas, but year round, where they're just back and forth.
But dog, Nightmare Before Christmas has done a great job marketing all year round. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Nightmare Before Christmas is cool in like whatever month. You can watch it, listen to it, whatever.
Yeah, but we could have like the Kendrick and Drake of holidays going on year round, and that would be cool.
Bro, you're a producer. You're gonna have to coordinate something. You're gonna have to put together. You never done have you ever done a holiday album?
Not album,
I think it's time for Eddie Logic's Christmas album, dog.
I've had to kind of I've had to make a couple like holiday songs before. I don't know if I've had to make a Halloween song.
Peanut Butter Wolf did like a Christmas joint one time. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, I've had to do some Christmas songs, some Christmas beats for certain things, because sometimes you're out here, you gotta like
mad sleigh bell.
You gotta throw the sleigh bells on.
That sleigh bell's gotta be kicking, bro.
You gotta throw the sleigh bells on and get the check. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it. I'm down. Whatever holiday, I'm down for whatever. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? We with it. Eddie Logic's in the building, man.
What up, though? We out here.
All right, so what's going on with you right now is you're always got something going on. I've known Eddie Logic since I don't even know if you made beats then.
We go back.
When you were doing Mid-Coast Most, that's when I met my man A Logix. I remember still we were at, what the heck was that place out there that had a video game place in the Great Lakes Crossing? GameWorks. Now it's like where the sea.
Oh wow.
Now it's like where the there's like a aquarium there now.
Yeah, wow. I can't. That's way back.
That's when I first got a Mid-Coast Most.
Wow, that was
one of y'all cats gave me a Mid-Coast Most CD that day.
I was thinking it was at a different, like a downriver spot.
That was probably later on, dude. Because I remember
definitely.
Were you always part of Mid-Coast Most from the jump?
No, they started out. It was
then maybe I knew them cats before
nonsense.
Even you.
Yeah, but I remember that spot. But you might have been. Yeah, you might have met them even before me, because there was a cat named C5 in the group, and then he left to go to school for some recording and kind of do like more behind the boards thing, and then I met those guys, and I was doing beats and I was rapping at the time, and we kind of started doing stuff more kind of on the beat stuff, but then we started rapping too, and that's kind of how just the timing of when C5 was leaving. I was just hanging out with those guys. We had met, and we were just. And
I think that sounds more like it. I think you weren't even probably in the group yet.
Yeah, I might not have even been.
Then you guys put together the album. What's the one with the blue cover, blue and white?
Worth the Wait.
That's the joint. Was that your first joint?
That was That was our first album together. We had done a couple like demos before that weren't on that. That was like a little like maybe 5-song little thing or something, little demo EP. But then that was our first album, and I'm sure we came by here for that.
Oh, you did? I remember. Yeah, man, way back, man. But
yeah.
So back then you were doing the Mid-Coast Most joint, but a lot of them dudes in Mid-Coast Most, a lot of them moved. They're now like living other places and stuff.
Yeah, except for Bum, who now goes by Jay Walker, but he's back.
I seen him on the video for the Hamtramck blowout joint or whatever they call it now.
Yeah, he's back here now. Like
where was he living?
He was in LA for a little while. Nonsense is in Tennessee. C5 is in like San Francisco area, Bay Area. But yeah, Jay Walker was on. I mean, he was just on the track, the Lake of Darkness joint you played earlier. Here. So he's back, and he's back on the mic. We just had a session the other day. He's still out here. The style is a little different. But Jay Walker is in the flesh. We actually,
you guys all grown up, man. It's crazy to see it over the years.
Yeah, it's a little different stuff, and we actually have a project that him and I did. We recorded most of it kind of over the pandemic time, but we're gonna release that here in 2025. It'll be coming out on Snow Global Recordings.
Okay. I bet there's a lot of music that was recorded during the pandemic that's not out yet to the public.
A lot of stuff you think like, it's all come out, but not really, and you start some things, and then you kind of, that period was a wild time for everybody. So there's stuff that like you come back to that you did around that time that you were like,
plus, man, always the better quality stuff takes time anyways.
Yeah, sometimes, right, like, we're not always in a hurry.
Do you do tracks like that where you record it, mix it, get it out? Is that part of your process?
It's rare. Some stuff happens like that. Some stuff does happen like that, but not always. The Portrait of a Prince, Kona's album, kind of happened like that. The idea of it and the concept and everything was in place for a period of time, months and months. Now, you guys put out a Kona's
joint years ago, right? I mean, you got
like 10 years ago.
What was the name of that track?
That was Portrait of a Gentleman.
Portrait of a Gentleman.
Now this one's Portrait of a Prince.
Okay, so in that time period, I mean, have you guys just, were you planning to do another album, or did it just come about?
No, we weren't planning on doing another album. Not like that anyway. And then it kind of got, I don't want to say commissioned, but it got brought to us and kind of asked if we could put something together, not as a sequel to that or whatever, but just put together a project and we just kind of knew that the only way to do that would be to like follow up portrait. It was time to make another portrait, basically.
So this portrait of a Prince, I noticed like a lot of songs have the word darkness in it, a lot of the titles. How'd you guys come up with this whole concept for this album?
Well, Portrait of a Prince, it's in dedication to our friend Al Casanelli, who also, one of his nicknames is Prince of Darkness. And that's just kind of where we got it all. And it's kind of like when we met the Prince of Darkness, he was also doing a light show. So it's this kind of play on the dark and the light. We're not like, it's not on some like devil worshipping like cult thing. Is kind of more,
no, not at all. But I mean, what is cult owners?
It's kind of funny with it,
What is cult owners music about? I mean, say for people who haven't even listened to cult owners or only heard a little bit of it,
it's
what are you guys telling people?
It's about culture. It's about our time. It's about being creative and pushing culture and kind of like in your own inside way that it doesn't have to make sense. Like, we speak in kind of like our own coded language a little bit, and it's like barred out in a way that you might have to decode a little bit, but there's more there than meets the eye or meets the ear. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's dope to see Dante on here rhyming.
Dante's rhyming on there. Shout out to Dante LaSalle.
Doc
87th
Waffles.
chapter.
Who we got on here? We got Mike Phelps, which, man, Mike Phelps and his old crew, I don't even know if they're crew anymore. Coleman Young was so dope.
Young. Yeah, I mean,
man,
those are the homies.
That album, you could be a fan, or you should be a fan.
Yeah,
man, that's dope.
I recorded. I did all that.
Did you? You did that joint? Okay.
I produced like one, maybe two joints on it, but I recorded and mixed and mastered that whole.
That was a good album, man.
That was like my first time really like working with those guys, and we put together. Yeah, it was a great album. It was a lot of fun working with those cats too, because it's like, especially at that time, they were just like really like vibing and in a good, like, it was a good energy around them and around other hip hop just in the city.
Bro, it was a good time. That was a good time in Detroit hip hop.
Bar heavy, just they would come through and just really throw down. It was always exciting having a session with those guys because I knew that it was gonna be fire. You know what I mean?
Dude, they're dope, man. And Mike Phelps is always dope. Capelli,
and they still,
cool cat.
Blacksmith also, like, and I keep in touch with those guys over the years. We got some other stuff. Capelli and I got like mad unreleased tracks that we actually, I know Chief, also Mr. Chief, shout out Mr. Chief, shout out Capelli, but
no doubt
we got like like a unfinished project that never saw the light of day too. Not a lot of heads know about that, but we got stuff that is just sitting around too. So
when was the last time you listened to that stuff?
Man, every once in a while it'll come up. I'll find, you know how it is. You're going through, you're trying to find a certain beat or a certain session for something, and you're looking through your hard drive, and the next thing you know, you find something else, and you're like, whoa, wait, what was this? And you forget about it, and then you're like, oh, this was this whole song that's like just basically done, and it's with so and so and so and so and so and so, and you're like, man, why is this just sitting here on my hard drive? But maybe there'll be a time and place for all that stuff to happen at some point. I talk to those guys.
Music don't have no shelf life, man. You can put it out whenever.
No, that's the thing, and you never know. You never know when something might pop up. I talk to those guys about putting together possibly like somewhat of a, because I got tracks with like all those guys like separately and stuff. So I was like, maybe we should do like a lost tapes kind of collaborative.
No, that'd be dope.
Mixtape thing or something. So you never know what'll happen, but maybe
like a run off, or like an exclusive vinyl, something you can't get your hands on.
Yeah,
like a 12-inch out. There's something.
Yeah, something, because there's a whole bunch of stuff, and I love that. But then there's always times like it's like, well, when. And not everything you do has to come out. It's like, it's not like that, but you do find some gems that are hidden away that you're like, oh, this still kind of hits. This slaps. Like, maybe we got some legs on this, but
I mean, think of how much music out there some people probably recorded, and let's just say, something happens, something tragic, whatever happens, and all of a sudden that music is like never heard from again. It's stuck on some guy's hard drive somewhere in his apartment, you know what I'm saying? And nobody's ever hears it again.
Yeah, there's just some reel-to-reel tapes.
There's some dope stuff out there that have never been heard by some of our favorite people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know what to, like...
Like imagine if somebody was going through the problem is, okay, nowadays everybody had, but back like when Big L was out, now he didn't have no hard drives, but... say you just came across a hard drive put somewhere, and some guy plugs the thing in and has the whole Detox album. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying maybe you're making me want to like go through and back up a whole bunch of stuff on a hard drive and like bury it in the ground
a time
somewhere.
Capsule. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, put a little, just bury it here behind Henry Ford College.
Or maybe we can send it into the future. You know what I'm saying? Can we do that yet?
Can we?
It's
gonna cost some Elon bucks.
Yeah, holla at my man. He probably got a time machine.
You can well, maybe that's not a bad thing. Like just send things into orbit.
Or just go back in time and stop some things from happening, like recordings that should have never been recorded. You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole other
There's a
thing.
couple artists out there that you just like, hey, homie.
Yeah, I mean, I probably got...
Silk the Shocker, you didn't need to record all that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sure I got some things that are out there.
Yeah, you could go stop the stuff you had
I could take, that I wouldn't be mad if they...
Hey, but look at music, man. Like, you do tons of mixing, and I know you probably feel you came a long way in mixing music. I mean, that's an art. That's something you got to keep trial and error on. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's old stuff of yours you listen to, but you can't go back and redo it. Once it's out to the world, it's out there.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but there's also...
But it wouldn't be right.
Yeah, but there's something also about sometimes with that. There's times I go back to some old music, and a lot of times I'm like, oh, I would have mixed this different and all that. You have that thing, but every once in a while you there's something that you're like, oh wow, that actually came out sounding pretty good, and you're like, I wish I could get to that now as easy as it was then, or something, or sometimes in music, the technical side of it, sometimes you can learn too much, and then it's hard to just be free with it.
It seems like technology changes so much, and a lot of producers and stuff got to get the new plug-in, the new version of the new whatever. I mean,
oh yeah, we're always learning something.
Then you feel like the old stuff you used wasn't good.
Yeah, it's really a gift and a curse. We're in a time where the technological advances in recording music and mixing music and all that is so competitive and so kind of cutting edge right now that you're you never feel up to date, and with that you also there's so many tools that are awesome that are there that can make things easier, make things better. But
we will need people to even mix music at all? It seems like, I mean, the way the world's trying to get towards is honestly AI and all that stuff just taking over and doing everything.
Man, I hope so. There's...
It takes a lot of hours to mix music, dog.
Yeah, it's gonna be like anything though. There's gonna be... if it gets to that, I think it's just gonna, for music, my opinion on it kind of, and I don't know how it's gonna happen or how it's gonna happen, how it's really gonna go down, but the way that I kind of think wherever it's going, or when it gets to that point where it's gonna be kind of like movies are, you know what I'm saying? Where maybe it'll stretch, you go to see some movies that have so much CGI and whatever,
right.
But you're going to see that, you're not, kind of what you're okay, I'm gonna go see some crazy Marvel movie or something that is all computer generated basically or whatever. Now we're at a point with that where that's kind of impressive in itself, and you want to actually see that. There's other I think that somewhere after things maybe are figured out a little bit more with all the music side of that it might be something that's a little bit more like that, where if there is more AI or this kind of there's hopefully there's more of a novelty aspect to that, and there's still the real recordings and real ways of doing things and more organic ways that still apply. Because for everybody that wants to go see the CGI, big budget computer generated movie, there's still other movies that are
people want to see a movie that's filmed on film.
That's on film. People are still like, you look at the movies, like people are still making movies that are recorded on actual film. Not everything is digital.
But in reality, that's how it is now anyways, because a lot of this music comes out that's popular, so-called now. The people listening to it don't care how it's mixed. They don't care about any of that stuff. They just care if they can bounce to it, whatever. None of the sound quality really matters to them. But to you or I, we might listen to it and be like, we just might not get it because we're like, all the stuff sound, all the snare hits the same, the bass lines are all the same, the 808's all the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it kind of comes down to that. Like when you're going to put something on, what is going to resonate with you, or what are you looking to get out of that experience? And it's a similar thing like when you go to the movies or something, or when you're scanning Netflix to see what you want to watch that evening. Sometimes sometimes I want to watch the big budget CGI thing. Sometimes there's time and place. Sometimes I'm like, I want to watch the indie film that was done on done on film, not digital, that's got natural lighting or something, or that, there's things like that are done, but we'll see.
It's weird to see where music's gone, because you and I both have recorded back in the day when you were recording on boards and you were recording on tape and you were recording on digital tape or whatever, and it has got to the point to where it's crazy how you put together a song now. You can literally piece it together piece by piece. I mean, all the technology is there to do it that way.
Well, yeah, it's wild. You have things, there's like all these sound packs and splice and all this kind of plug and play stuff, which is...
Now, that's not something, as far as you as a producer, you like that kind of stuff, like splice, track lib, all that kind of stuff?
I mean, I don't really get into all of that, but I think it's, I still like...
Is most of your samples coming, and still most of the stuff you do that like sample base, is that still coming out the vinyl? Yeah, I mean, it's maybe not always coming just straight from vinyl, but it might be coming from something that even if I found some digital files on something like, I don't really do like just like YouTube rips or whatever. Sometimes I'll scour some like old blog sites that have vinyl rips and stuff or something, or sometimes you as producers you pass things along, you know what I mean? Like I might what are you producing on mostly these days? What piece of equipment? What is the brainchild of your sequencer? I produce in Reason and Pro Tools. Okay, that's my main things, and then like some hardware synthesizers. Like you and
still
Pigpen
got the
with
1000, you know what I mean?
You and Pigpen with the setup is dope with Mega Powers.
Yeah, that's a little different. I got access to a whole bunch of stuff with Pigpen because he's just
Pigpen's a freak
got
like
the
that.
crazy setup, and always finding the deals on all the good gear. I got some gear. I got hardware. I still got the MPC 1000. I got the MPC Live 2 or whatever, so I still get down on the MP, but I do most of my production stuff like is in Reason, and then I dump it into Pro Tools and kind of finish things there. Everything has always ended in Pro Tools for
Everything's
me.
Still Pro Tools, your main DAW that you get down with.
That's everything like ends there. That's like where that's where the mix down, the final.
No, Pro Tools I think will be around for a long time.
Yeah, but it's other.
We used to use it here when we started here. It was just on Mac Pro Tools. We had Pro Tools LE, and we just had like a little M-Box, and we were using Pro Tools before you can even get it for your home or any. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, it used to be a lot harder.
I remember when it was a 2-track free version, and we were doing it like that to do drops here for the radio station. We were just using the 2-track.
Oh, I bet, just the limited thing. Yeah, companies were so stingy with the tracks back then.
I know, man.
Like the track count, like it's.
But big ups to Black
crazy.
Beethoven. I remember when it first came out for PC, my man had the crack for the extra tracks. So like my Pro Tools went from like, I don't know, 16 tracks to like I had 30 something. It was awesome.
That was always the hardest thing to bootleg. I was always like, man.
They got it now to where you can't bootleg nothing. But
yeah, everything's subscription based, and I get it, but it's still.
Hey, dude,
it's still a bit heavy.
We were
of a
broke,
strong
dog.
arm,
If we
but-
could bootleg it and didn't corrupt your file, we were good.
and it corrupted a lot of files.
I know, bro. I have laptops that just died.
A lot of people, a lot of producers, a lot of engineers and stuff have ruined their entire systems.
I know people lost all their albums, everything you can name, because they didn't
trying
know.
to pirate that stuff.
Hey.
But it was a different time and place.
It
And I'm
was.
sure it's still. I don't know.
But you gotta, you know what? You gotta pay them dues to get to where you're at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Let's be real. Some people probably tossed it in then because then some people stuck with it.
Yeah, I'm all legit with my
No, you gotta be.
plugins now.
Hey, Logix,
especially Pro
all
Tools.
legit.
Don't come at me. Reason, don't come at me.
Yeah, don't pull the stuff off Spotify.
All the don't come at me. I'm not
YouTube will come.
bootlegging your plugins.
YouTube is
your
crazy, man. You put.
programs.
I've had little clips of stuff and it's like they flag you. YouTube don't play.
Oh, YouTube don't play.
Yeah, YouTube don't play, man. You got.
maybe for some stuff, but it's the labels. They got people got to get their money now.
If you want to jack
harder.
somebody's stuff, just put it on YouTube and see if it gets flagged, and if not, you're good to go. That's my
Yeah.
word of advice.
Yeah, I mean,
Because they ain't playing around. But hey, man, I know you do a lot. I mean, you've been doing so many. You probably produced like thousands of beats now, huh?
man, I don't know. I never kept.
You
count
can't.
of
How can you
nothing.
count? Because like
There's
that would you probably. I could see somebody counting when they first started, but not once you start just going.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and I like
What was the first program you produced a beat on?
it was. So yeah, back in the day, I started on before I had Pro Tools access and all that. I had a free, and it wasn't even like a bootleg. I think it was just like a free version that I had from like my uncle. I had a version of Sony Vegas and SoundForge.
Okay,
Vegas was actually more of a video, like a early like video.
No,
editing
Vegas
program.
was like what is now whatever Sony's flagship. They have a good program out there, but that was like the first version of it.
Yeah, it was like more for video, but you could use audio the same way. Like, I mean, it was the audio setup was very similar to just any multi-track thing, and then you could do more intricate editing, like just like sampling or editing in like SoundForge, and it would translate into. It was like the audio editor to go with Sony Vegas.
I kind of still miss SoundForge. I used to use it for like radio edits and all kinds of stuff. It was good. It was stable.
Yeah, it was cool. There was
Sony never really got deep into the recording stuff after
well,
that.
it was
did they?
more. It was more for a video thing as a video alternative. They weren't. I don't feel like trying to really crack into the audio like that, but they could have. But that was my first. That was how I like kind of like understood it. More and would put together. So that was before I had like an MPC, just chopping up. Man, I don't even remember like chopping up stuff from like CDs and stuff like that, and like getting breaks from CDs or like looping little parts of beats that I instrumental singles that I would
So like
find
looping
from the
stuff in
Harmony House.
SoundForge and putting it in the Vega and like kind of stacking it and making
make
tracks
loops,
out of it.
Yeah, just kind of stacking some
That's
different
dope.
loops and stuff like that, and like, and then just having, I had got a mic and a preamp that just went right in the microphone, in the 1/8-inch microphone cable in the PC. There wasn't even.
Right.
I didn't even have like an M-box or like a. I didn't know what an interface was.
No, you were just going directly into the desktop.
Yeah, I had like a probably like $50 like mic preamp for like a SM58 or something.
Okay. Hey, but that's where
That
where you cut your teeth, man. That's where you learn that stuff.
Yeah,
for
that
real.
was the setup. I remember. Shouts out to my uncle. Shout out Janus. He came and he came over and hooked that up for me one year, like around like Thanksgiving, and we went and I probably spent like $100 of my summer lawn mowing money to like get the mic and a little preamp, and hey, we was off and running.
Then it becomes an addiction, bro. You just start buying stuff over the years. You can't stop.
Oh yeah, I thought I was great. I was like offering studio time to people. I was like, yo, we got the studio, we got the studio. It's just in my mom's basement, but we would.
Hey, far as you're concerned, that's the studio. It don't matter.
I would have rappers calling the, I didn't even have a cell phone at that time. Rappers calling my mom's house, like, I thought I was calling the studio, whatever. And it's just my mom picking up.
Hey man, we all call the spot the studio. We be in the studio and we're in my garage. It's all good.
Exactly, but that was.
Hey, but nobody else had the studio, so that was the studio.
No, and shout out to my mom for letting that go down, let me just run that. I mean, that was cool. It was
My mom had no clue what was going on in our garage.
Hey.
WH for our Dearborn, Eddie Logix in the building. Yeah, she had no clue, but shout out to moms. Hey, well, let's do this real quick, man. I just want to jam a track. I know you got some stuff cracking. What do we got here? Defensive Darkness. I got to keep track of all the Darkness songs,
Get
bro.
into that. Yeah, it's a lot. It's all Defensive Darkness.
But Dante's on this song.
Yeah, Dante's on that with Jay Walker, with Bum from Mid Coast. Jay Walker.
Oh, and your boy can sing on this track too.
Oh yeah, that was Clyde Moop has a little. He's singing the little Kermit the Frog. It's not easy being green. It's a little vocal like.
Oh, Doc Waffles not on this song.
and Waffles is on that as well. They're just barring out over a kind of minimal spaced out beat. Clyde Moop on that beat as well.